Hello Internet, my name is Jason Musk. So last week we talked about why didn't NASA send anyone to Mars in last 50 years. It's the rise of social media, which formed a global trend of self-expression instead of human exploration. I'm not accusing NASA scientists sitting in their office and taking selfies all day. I'm just suggesting that there's no huge accomplishment in space in recent years. It's probably because people are more interested in their new apps or new iPhones. But does that mean we'll never go to Mars or out of solar system? Not quite. The time will come. What I mean by that is about a very basic mindset in economics. Most of you probably take introduction to economics in university because it's one of the easiest subjects and the name sounds cool. So you should definitely know this because open any introductory economics textbook, you will appear within the first 10 pages. You guessed it, it's a trade-off. The time would be when people making a trade-off between the resources on Earth and the resources from another planet. Before we dive in any deeper, let me ask you a simple question. Do you think the resources on Earth, such as oil and gas, will ever run out? Like this whole matter would be used up by humans? It might surprise you, but the answer is no. We will never use up our resources. There will be a point when people stop extracting oil while there's still tons left untouched. Why? Simply because it will be too expensive to continue. Imagine we are working very hard to burn oil. Everyone is driving 24/7. The oil is running out fast, up to a point where there's only one last barrel left on Earth. It will be so deep underneath that our oil drill will touch the center of Earth when we extract it. It will cost billions of dollars to build the best, the longest, and most durable oil drill of all time. And it will take years to successfully extract it. And once we get it out, it will be too expensive to consume. So to a business person, why spending billions when you know customers is not going to buy it anyway? This simply doesn't make any sense. This same thinking applies to the last 100 barrels or last 1,000. Because there will be a point when people will make a trade-off in their heads and think about, is it cheaper to stick to oil or switch to solar or natural gas? Ask any economist. He or she will tell you the resources will never run out because it does not depend on the total amount we have, but rather depends on the human behavior. Therefore, when we try to make sense out of something, see beneath the facts and objects, look for the causation and correlation. Think like an economist. So that's just general public. What about those business people behind the scenes, those greedy capitalists that are secretly controlling our lives? In this case, being greedy is actually a good thing. And it will push our society forward. How? First, you gotta understand, when business people are talking about growth, you usually come down to two simple choices. First is improving efficiency, such as an upgrade of the equipment, which most of the times is hard because it requires technological advancement. The other is looking for alternatives, such as gas station providing natural gas as a form of fuel. Therefore, his business people would get their calculators out, spreadsheets open on a Saturday night, figuring out how much money they could make selling oil-operated cars, oil-driven engines in the upcoming years. They will foresee the trade-off mindset of the public years before because they understand the market and human behaviors. It's inevitable that there will be a point in time where the demand exceeds supply in the oil market. And then if they are not stupid enough to invest that money in drilling out the last 1,000 barrels, they would instead invest these billions of dollars in finding other ways, such as looking for alternatives. And this way they can also get a head start in the new emerging market. You might say it's too risky and nobody in their right mind is going to do it. But honestly, it's a leap of faith. Magellan risked his life for what he believed in, which later on proved Earth is not flat, it's round. And there will be people rise up from the crowd and to make the jump, show us and lead us. For example, Elon Musk is doing something very cool right now, and people are calling him crazy. But don't forget, a couple of years ago, Steve Jobs was called crazy when he thought Apple computers is going to change the world. Only time will prove its worth. But am I saying we should all become Elon Musk or Steve Jobs? No. They are the 1% of the 1% regarding innovation. For us, we just need to strive to be the 1%, the innovators, who stops and tell people around us what's the new cool things like wearables, or the entrepreneurs who solves problems the humanity is facing daily right now. Still, you might be skeptical about this whole getting water from Mars thing, because we're not even sure there is water on Mars. But keep this in mind, 99% of the startups on Earth fails. And since failure is inevitable in innovation or entrepreneurship, seeing it as a feedback is more important. Therefore, it's ridiculous to see these people laughing at Elon Musk's failure, or negative feedback as I preferred, on SpaceX projects. He's not God, he's just human. Innovation requires trial and error. Nobody succeeds at the first try. A lot of famous people fail and failed again before they finally succeed. Therefore, we should be more accepting about his failures. Since we didn't invest a dime in his company anyway, he only has to answer to his investors and shareholders. So why do we care so much about he failed and therefore we can make a fun out of it? Because you are afraid of what he could accomplish? Anyway, I wish all the best for Elon Musk and hundreds, thousands of quiet people who are crazy enough to change the world, to be the change they wanted to see. Some of them are indeed doing an amazing job. Go to any local entrepreneurship conference, you would be blown away by those ideas. Talking to these crazy smart people and see what they are doing right now. They are both crazy and smart. It's such a good time to be alive. Peace. Alright, that wraps up my second video. Thank you for watching. Feel free to comment below and tell me what you think. And also make suggestions about my future topics. Subscribe!